to you, sir, on
Thank you.
Storylines by Shefali Chopra. I was meaning to have this conversation for such a long time, and you know that.
Yes. I know that. Thank you. Thank you for having me here in your platform. And it's great pleasure to see you also again. And also what we can share to the public, to the viewers and listeners, whatever I know about health and Ayurveda. Thank you. Thank you for
It's
inviting me.
been on my mind, doctor, that Ashtavaidyan. When people hear this term, I mean, I know what it means, but I want you to tell people what it means.
Ashtavaidya are traditional Vaidyas, basically from Kerala. We believe that when Parashurama created Kerala, he also designed 18 villages all over Kerala. So we believe that during that time, we also got appointment as Vaidyas of each sectors, or each villages. So mean, we don't have any proof for that. We don't have any proof of even whether Parashurama was existed. But anyhow, we were 18 families in olden days. But some of them already got extinct. I mean, most of them didn't continue even the Ayurveda, or they merged with other families. At the moment, only five of them are remaining. They're practicing Ayurveda, and almost 20, less than 20 Ayurvedic Vaidyas are practicing Ayurveda among that five families. So Ashtavadyas are those who are knowledge about all the angas. Just like yoga, you must be knowing also eight branches are there in yoga. Similarly, in Ayurveda, also eight branches are there, which is like a body, like a general medicine, pediatrics, about even the planetary things, ENT, eye diseases, or even geriatrics. Even in case of toxicology, surgical instruments, surgical measurements, as well as the in reproductive, like a aphrodisiac, or even in infertility cases, those are treating. Like eight branches are there. So Ashtavadyas are known to be well known in all these sectors. So at the moment, we don't get too many cases of toxicology, like a snake's bite, snake bite, or even planetary things are not there. But rest all the things we are getting commonly. So these are the Ashtavadyas, eight branches. Those who are
Yeah,
well versed in
that's so
eight branches.
interesting. Wow, that is so interesting. And I know for sure that your family has been into Ayurveda since generations.
Yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
remember coming to your center when I was diagnosed with lupus, and with so much trust, I came to you and I took your medication and I started feeling much better. And since then, we've been connected. And I mean, it's so fantastic. When I came there and I saw the simplicity and I saw the kind of food that people ate and you served them. When I think of food, of course, food and health go hand in hand. And obviously now we are so confused as people because there's so much more on the platter that we get to see, if not eat. People get confused. Should we eat this? Should we eat that? Now, so-called simple life and simple way of living or simple food has really changed.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the only thing we need. We need to stick on to the basics and where you are from and where you live. That all, those are all very important, actually. My father used to say, and still he is, saying that there is no need to take the good food. You need to take the right food. The right one becomes good when it is in time and when you are eating and with a purpose also. So that makes sense. Like you need to eat the right one, then only it becomes good. If you take, there are many good things in this world. There are hundreds of good things in the world. Whether are we suitable to them, or whether we need all those things or not, that's very question. Like there are superfoods. That only works if you are properly digesting and absorbing in the body. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time and waste of money.
I remember at that point of time, there was somebody from the family complaining to you about me that she does not eat raw food. She's not eating sprouts. And you look at me and I said, yeah, I don't like it. I mean, somehow I don't feel nice after eating that. So he was like, she's right. She's listening to her body. Let her not eat that.
Exactly, exactly.
I
We have a
still
saying.
remember this.
Yeah, we have a saying also, if you listen to your body, if you start listening to your body, that's it. You don't need to think anything else, because if you know how to communicate with your body, what's its need, all the urges, normal urges like a thirst. Many people even, they don't drink on time, and or hunger, sleep. Every time you push that one aside, because as if you need to go, further, further, achieve more things. Actually, you're losing few steps behind. Actually, you're running to the grave if you are, say, avoiding sleep. So, you can go to grave, but not run towards the grave. So that's the problem. Actually, people are forgetting their urges, or even ignoring their urges, like even going to toilet, urinating, flatulence, even burping, even sneezing. They sneeze like that. I mean, holding everything in the inside. So those are really bad. Actually, 14 vegas are there. If you really know how to produce them, how, without suppressing or without forcefully making it also, then you live much more healthy. Actually, when you listen to your body, the mind will start listening to you. The mind will start listening to you. Otherwise, you need to listen to the mind. Never listen to the mind. Actually, let just listen to your body. Then the mind
How
also will obey you. Otherwise, it will not.
That's very profound, I must say. We never think about such things. And you also emphasize on sleep. Many of my friends or many of the people I know, I think sleep is not even on their agenda.
Oh,
They
yeah.
probably like to sleep very late, and there is no system. And when people, I mean, I don't want to sound a little braggish, but when people tell me, oh, you have very nice complexion and it's shining, I want to tell them, listen, guys, I sleep in time.
It's true. It's true. Actually, you
There is
sleep.
no trick. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
like to
sleep
sleep in time. It's very
early.
important. I mean, it's rejuvenating. I think I remember you telling me long back that sleeping is the time when your body heals.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because when you sleep, especially, preferably early, like if you can sleep before 9:30 or 9:30 itself, you will be in heaven. You will be in heaven. Maximum 10. According to Ayurveda, between 10 and 2 is considered as the Pitta time. Pitta time, like a highly inflammative time. So if you once you cross 10 o'clock, the clock is ticking. I mean, ticking towards the inflammation and the heat. By 12 o'clock, it reached to the peak. Madhyana ardharatre pittam saradi. Like the pitta goes up on 12 o'clock, around midnight as well as midday. It goes into the peak, and it goes down also a little bit by 2 o'clock. But once you cross 12 o'clock at night, you're on a tick, like a bomb. You're on a bomb. And if you do that often, like more often, like every day even, then a lot of inflammative diseases are, the body become more acidic, body become very inflammative. So go to bed early. I mean, there are many people do a lot of good things, but they go to bed very late, and also eat very late. So before 7 o'clock, you take your dinner, and go to bed by 9:30, by maximum 10 o'clock, and wake up early. If you miss something, what you like, some works and all, get up around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock before the sun rises, because sun is also considered as a god. So the god is entering into your house. Before that, you get up and welcome him properly with a full heart and full hand. So if you get up early and do your works, either enough time before you go to office to finish all the works, and you will be on time every day. So I think that can make a big difference in the health. You just if anyone is doing, if anyone is listening this, just do that for a month and see the difference in your health, in physiology.
Dr. Moose, I remember you telling me another thing that comes to my mind is that eat local as you can.
Yes.
I remember what example you gave me at that time is like if you are in north of India and it's okay to eat parathas, but if you're in south, you stick to idli and dosa. But don't do reverse. Can you elaborate on this?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, God also knows exactly what to grow in what places and what kind of food. Maybe by practice also we changed ourselves. Like in Kerala, we are using a lot of coconut oil, and certain area they use different things. Also, it's suitable to our physiology. You also see the local things. Maybe a person who's living in a very cold climate and eating all the time cashew nuts. They may end up in different problems because it's not growing there locally. So you go to market instead of going to a supermarket. If you in the market, actually you can get local things and local food. And when you go to even fruits also, even fruits. But when you go to a supermarket, there are many things from different countries and places. I mean, virtually, actually, you're selecting different diseases. It's not really different food. So, better you go to a market and eat the fresh one, fresh comparatively, and maybe it's cheaper also. To go to that. And with the food, in India, it's really visible. Even the coastal area, people have a different type of food habits. When you go inside, it is a different food habit. Those who are in Rajasthan, they eat a lot of ghee, and even Gujarat, because their climate is like that. If you consume in Kerala the same type of food, within few days you will end up in hospitals. So because of that kind of the quantity, I mean, definitely with indigestion. So every place is also made their food according to their physiology and their work habits also. But unfortunately, nowadays we already created a kind of atmosphere now, which is even everywhere, like air conditioned and all. They are not working physically as well. So they may need to take a little bit of restriction in their food. Then the diet comes. Then the importance of diet. Otherwise, there is no real need of any diet. You can eat whatever you want if you can digest it properly. If you can justice your food.
Yeah. Dr. Moose, I hear of these things like you are supposed to eat fruit only during the day and you should not consume fruit after maybe 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Is it true?
Yeah, afternoon. Yes, certain. Again, it's depends on areas. Actually, if you are living in a much cooler area, colder area, there is no problem. You can eat the fruit in the morning also. But when you are coming down to like a Kerala or places like where heat is more than 35, almost all the time, then the digestive power will not be so good, so perfect in the morning. So for them, actually, afternoon is a better time to eat fruits. And if you want to take something like a fruit, it should be cooked in a place where the temperature is more than 35, with the humidity as well. So it's all depends on the area where you are. If you are in a dry place, the temperature is below 20. The fruits are okay in the morning, but not at night, not in the evening. Better avoid fruits in the evening, because the fruits are contain sugar and fructose or whatever. It stays in the body in the evening time. Like some medicines are there even for diabetes. If you take at night, the diabetes increases, and if you are taking in the daytime, the diabetes, I mean, the sugar level goes down. So then in the body, when you are taking at night or evening, it's the sugar content stays in the body longer than in the daytime. So just try to avoid sweet things in the evening.
Dr. Moose, there was a time in India we had a system of traditional thalis. We had a little bit of sour, we had a little bit of bitter, maybe little salty, maybe little chutney, something pungent, achar or something
I
like that.
mean, all type of tastes, all
All
different
kind of
tastes.
rasas, all kind of rasas. Would you still think that was a healthy way of life?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the healthy way itself, because predominantly the food should be slightly sweeter in thing, and already it's there in the sweetness is there in the rice and many other things. Only
Right.
a bitter taste is coming from some leafy vegetables, or some even karela, or green vegetables. And or if you are eating only rice and potatoes and all, it's almost same, all okay, all are same in, but if you are adding other spices or even other vegetables, then it become a complete, then it become a complete. Otherwise and you have to take different things also in different days, to maintain your health. Don't consume the same food again and again. I mean, if you are very healthy, just make a menu for a week and take different things, including millets. Some days you take millet, some days you take different type of millet, some days you take rice, some days take more wheat, and also different vegetable. So you get benefit of all the vegetables and all the grains and all the millets and all the lentils also. If you're taking the same food again, you get the benefit of that, but also the consequence of taking that again and again. So just like a ghee, you are taking ghee every day. Too much of consumption of ghee can also cause problem. Less consumption is also bad. So you are not opening any door for any disease if you are taking different food in different days. Make a menu, and you can maintain that you will be healthy. You're not opening any door for any disease.
That's very interesting, I must say. What a beautiful explanation you just gave us. One thing that comes to my mind is like, a lot of people just pop medicines, a little bit of headache, and they just pop a medicine. And a little bit of stomach ache, maybe it's a little gassy thing or whatever. They think, oh my God, we have a stomach ache. Or there are a lot of times when people eat unhealthy food, and because of that, it results into a bad stomach. They're just popping pills all the time. It's just becomes so easy. They don't even realize that this is leading to something much bigger.
It's true. I recently saw a post, just like a Facebook post. Actually, one of my friend wrote that taking medicine and feeling healthy is just like you are taking a loan and feeling rich. You know,
That's
just like you got a big loan and you're feeling that you're rich. That's it. That indicates actually if you can you live without medicine. There are a lot of, even the food itself is a medicine. Also, not only food, also the routine. You need to know when to eat, what time to eat, how much to eat. All those things are a matter. Also, what time to sleep, as I said. How much you exercise. There are even, I saw some people did a lot of over exercise. Now they can't even move their limbs. They're almost paralyzed because they did over exercise. They want more than
overdid
what
it.
they want. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a balance. It's everything is in balance. Sarva dharmeshu mathame, like even in religion believe. So it should be in moderation. Everything should be in moderation, then it will protect you. It should be not that too much of extreme. Even ignoring things are not good. Even over considering things are also not good. So don't get also obsessed with the healthy food and other things. And also when you're eating, you should also keep a very clean mind and pure mind. Because you are not only eating the food, you're also eating a consciousness. While watching a TV, you're eating, you're actually eating a TV, not even you watching eating a movie. So even the negative of that also goes inside. And at least the whatever you are eating, it should be a part of your body in future with the positive energy. If you are eating with these kind of reading a mobile or even something, I don't know what will happen when you're eating. Of course, the first day it will not happen, and even second day poor body will take just like a earth, as much as they can it
mhm.
will handle. But one day it will burst. Okay,
Yeah.
then it's a doctor's job, not others job actually to fix it. No, actually you can easily avoid all the doctors.
That's very nice. But it's so difficult to convince the children these days. But I don't really blame the children because mothers, if I may say, well, I'm also a mother, but I've realized that easily you just make them sit next to the TV so that the child eats. I have seen so many people doing this with their children. They don't even realize what they're doing to them.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
this is
Actually, in
this
a
is
way
a
of
lifestyle
avoiding
problem.
the children, I'm very sorry to say, just like avoiding the children, if they are busy, just give some mobiles and all. Maybe you give some other kind of play, even to read them or read something instead of watching a movie or, there are many other ways. Or let them go and play outside, if there is any outside. If they don't have any outside, at least give some toys or something else, not the mobile phone, definitely not mobile phone or TV. And that will be difficult. That is very very sad. Actually, they are bored. That's why they are watching movies.
I
They give them some engagement. If they are a little bit older, give them some work, even cutting vegetables or even something, even washing some vegetables. At least give some engagement. At least let them know. Even
Yeah.
yeah, let them know time is precious.
Time is precious. There is no doubt about it. And I
Yes,
think
yes.
who knows better than a doctor, because you have seen, you have revived so many people, and you see so many people go in right in front of you. So it's, we all know that time is very precious. You know,
Yeah.
Dr. Moose, I must do a honest confession, okay? Which is that I love rice. Okay. But when I came to India, I remember everybody, see, Punjabis are not really rice eaters. Okay. But I have a very mixed kind of background. I am a Kashmiri and I am a Punjabi. So I used to love rice. And you know, typical boiled rice with a bit of ghee, and everybody used to stare and glare at me and used to say, oh, maybe you will become fat because you're eating rice. And I'm like, really? And because Punjabis are normally roti eaters, okay, or paratha eaters. They're not really, they would make rice, once a week, that also pulao. So I want you to crack this little thing for me. All the boiled rice that I ate, was it bad or was it good?
No, rice and wheat does not comes under any kind of restriction. Ghee, all those things you can consume every day. There is no problem. But the problem is again the quality of rice and quality of wheat we are getting. Unfortunately, we have a there was an old method actually to preserve the uh, rice in the paddy form in a wooden box for more than 1 year. Then only we take it out and consume it. But nowadays,
Exactly.
in a fast moving world, they are directly from the farms going into the factory and making into rice and other things. According to Ayurveda, Navadhanya, which is new rice, is really fattening, really having a lot of, creating a lot of blockage. We have a term called ama. It's producing a lot of ama and sodorosa, blockage of all the channels. So, whereas the 1 year old rice is much lighter, and it can easily digest also. That's I think in India right now the major problem is the rice we are getting. Even the wheat are also getting are quite fresh. In that fresh in the sense, it's not 1 year old. So there is always a so that's why everybody is also telling, oh, avoid rice, poor rice. It's
Yeah.
not their problem actually. And we survived, we live even now because of rice. Our parents and grandparents and even great grandparents, they live survive with rice, but the quality was different. Now what we do is slightly fry the rice into a little bit reddish in color. Then at least it is 20-30% better than the rice you're buying. So it reduces the bad quality of the rice.
You know,
So
in
fry the
between,
rice, then you cook it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, please.
sorry. In between, I used to hear, Dr. Moose, that brown rice is very good. And I
Hmm.
must tell you, I did try it a couple of times, but I just thought that I would eat it like totally kunchum, very small portion, and then I would feel so full. I would feel ki, oh my God, it's taking longer than otherwise to digest that rice.
Yeah, that's the benefit of when it is brown and unpolished rice. You consume only a very little. Of course, the outer skin also has some benefits. And according to Ayurveda, Rektashali, red color rice is the best one. There are all the things are good, but the best is among the rice is Raktashali. And it's also very difficult to consume because you take maximum 2 or 3 spoons. After that, the stomach feels full. Healthy, yes, it is healthy. To be honest, that is healthy.
Is it?
But
Do you
you can
consume
easily
that?
lose. Pardon?
Do you consume that rice, Dr. Moose?
Yeah, we use brown rice. We use brown. It is called matta in Kerala, and boiled rice, parboiled rice. Actually, we are using.
Parboiled.
We don't use white rice. In Kerala, very most of the people are using brown rice.
Is it also something similar to that red rice that you get?
Yeah, it is almost like that. It is almost like that.
Yeah.
A little bit
Okay.
round in shape.
Yeah, round and
Even
shape.
those things
Actually,
are also coming in a different, like in the same way. They are also, not really kept for 1 year. So we purposefully purchased a few bags of paddy and kept it in, so for that we can use in future after 1 year.
how interesting. And then you were just telling us that you fry the rice. If you could elaborate a bit on that, like you take the rice, how do you do it?
Yeah, just buy, you take the rice, wash it properly, then put it in. Once it is dry, you put it in a plain pan and fry it without any oil or anything. Just fry it until it becomes a little bit reddish in color. And then you
Okay.
cook it. Yeah, then you cook that. I mean, at least it reduces the bad effect of it, at least a
How
bit.
interesting. You fry the rice and then you cook it.
Then you cook it. Yeah,
Wow.
fresh
This is
tandulam we
interesting.
call it. Yeah,
Yeah. I remember in the olden days or olden times, or even now, I think some families must be doing it. Like you take out the rice water. It's called
yeah,
mand. Yeah. And I remember my mom used to say, ki, this mand used to be so good. Like it was at those days, during those times, they would give to pregnant women.
yeah. It's very light to digest. No, very
For
easy.
strength.
It's a
Yeah.
glucose. It's like a glucose. Immediately you feel energized. You put a little bit of salt in it, then it's like an ORS. Even you have a diarrhea, immediately it stops also. So it's a lifesaver.
Wow.
What you
These kind.
do, you usually, my father used to take take the very warm like we call it a rice soup, maybe you can call rice soup, and
Yeah.
put a fist of moringa leaf. Moringa is,
I love
drumstick leaf.
moringa. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
moringa, yeah.
I know.
Drumstick leaf, and put it in the pot and pour this hot kanji or rice soup on it. Then
Yeah.
add maybe a little bit or half a teaspoon of ghee or something. Then mix it and take like directly like that without cooking the leaves. And it is really energizing. After that, he sweats. The entire body sweats. So
My God.
the effect is immediate. Immediate. So
When I hear of such things, it's like a treasure. And not everybody has this kind of treasure, the kind of treasure you have, your words of wisdom, your shares from so many eras, if I may say. You have been collecting and helping people and in Kerala. But what about a common man? What are the tips for a common man in day-to-day living? Because not everybody is at that level. Everybody is still finding answers. Ki, what should we eat? How much should we eat? When should we stop? Is this good? Is this not so good? And the culture, the influx of all these kind of fancy foods, if I may say, coming into India has really jeopardized the situation that it is today. We don't know,
yes,
like you just said, moringa suddenly became like if I may say, like the pop of all times, because everybody was saying moringa is a superfood and we all must eat it. And I must tell you, at one time when I was eating moringa powder, you know
yeah, yeah, yeah. You buy from the shop. Before you were throwing it out or something. Now you buy directly from the shop these kind of powders. And the world is just moving around and people finding something. Unfortunately, we are depending too much on some Western companies and cultures and other things, and believing they may make everything perfect. And I think they're still learning. There are a lot of things they need to learn from us also, from Ayurvedic people. Recently, I saw some of the commonly used Ayurvedic herbs are, the most precious and the most elaborated thing, and they're selling like a hotcakes in US and other countries, which we are using for thousands of years, and we know how to. So for the common man, definitely there is nothing fancy they need to do. Just as I said, like listen to their body, listen to their body needs, and whatever they are eating, the local things, local traditional food, what they are eating, what they are grown up with, you just follow that. Definitely they will be healthy itself. And if you also know your body, if you are eating certain things, then suddenly you're feeling it's not suiting you, then try to avoid it, or improve your digestive system so that you consume. Like if you are getting allergy with the bad food, you are very lucky. If you are getting allergy with the bad food, you are very lucky. If you are allergy with the good food, then you need to consider and consult a doctor. Like somebody says, like, when I smoke, I cough a lot. When I drink a lot, I have a lot of problems. Let them also fine. That's wonderful for them. If they can't consume it. But if they are getting allergy with even wheat and rice and milk, some people nowadays everything
Exactly.
is a lot of changes are happening in the milk, homogenization and pasteurization. A lot of things are happening, but even with the normal milk, if they are getting difficulty to digest, then we need to consider their digestive power. So that's the only the normal common people need to do. Like they keep on working and never suppress their urges, eat on time, they will live much healthier. I mean, I think most of the poor people are healthier than rich people.
Absolutely, because they do not really, they're not considering the packaged food at all. They are eating everything fresh compared to the
Absolutely.
people who can afford it.
And they never overeat, no, always they never overeat in that way. Like even
And
at least they work that much to work it on completely, digest it on and absorb. Metabolization or metabolism will be perfect for them. So we don't need
true.
to give too many tips to them.
Yeah. Dr. Moose, now suddenly there is this fad of either looking too thin for women, which is like a zero size, thanks to Kareena Kapoor, because it became a very big thing, and everybody wanted to look like her. And then, of course, everybody, all the men wanted to look like those the muscle, I don't know, whatever you call them. With that full muscle, all the men wanted to probably look like Salman Khan, or, the latest, maybe Hrithik Roshan. And, I mean, what, people are obsessed with their bodies.
Yes, true.
It's an obsession. And how do you break this obsession? How do we tell them it's okay that if you're a bit fat, it's okay and it suits you, you know?
Yeah, there are some people think differently also. I mean, that's not the ultimate. Of course, it is like to impress the other gender or something like that. They make it, and sometimes they are spoiling their life. I mean, it's good to be thin. Karsham eva varam, we call it as good to be thin, not overweight is ideal. But it should be healthy, healthy in a way that you look healthy and even behave healthy. So all those things are quite important. Like I told you, those who are. I know one person who. There are many people also. One right now in a real pathetic condition after doing a lot of exercise and a lot of over considering. So I'm. I think many even bodybuilders are also short-lived. They don't reach to the they don't consume the quota of their lifespan. They go earlier. So I think that's not the way. Like actually, many people are different also. Many people can do that. Some people can't do that. So we need to figure it out what is suitable to you. And if you are physically healthy, mentally healthy, if you are happy with what you are, just don't change it. If you are not, then definitely change it. Even your
Obviously, you
physiology.
don't have to, yeah, you don't have to impress anybody else. You have to see yourself every day in the mirror and be happy about it. That's very important.
Yeah, there are some age they keep on thinking like some youth, some age, to impress the other, and they do many things, like a Kerala people does not have any six packs. Like everyone is one pack. So just there is even a saying in Kerala, like we eat a lot of rice, and it's very difficult for us also to become like that. Anyhow, that's not the thing. Actually, if you are healthy mentally and physically, healthy is not only just physical health; it's also mental health, social health, even spiritual health. Ayurveda also give a little bit of emphasis on spiritual health also. Then you can call it as healthy. Otherwise, not.
Dr. Moose, this question has been in my mind since we started this conversation. Is like, did you always want to be a doctor?
Why not? Why not? Of course, I see my father how successful he is, and so also my family. I told you this. I'm in the seventh generation doing this profession. So my grandfather was, great grandfather was, and great grandfather, great grandfather's great grandfather. So
Oh
from
my God.
19 something like a 1795 onwards, the person who lived in that. So that time onwards, we are all Vaidyas and doing this profession, as we know, because I don't know his father was, because he became very popular. He became very popular. He could predict even death of
Oh
another
my
person
God.
by seeing a patient itself. He can say within not just a recent one. He can predict up to 5 years, 5 years in
My God.
advance. Like
My
then
God.
he became famous as well as notorious. People a little bit scared to go to him because he will immediately say, "Oh, in 5 years you will not be here, so why should I?"
Oh my God.
No, just joking. But he became very popular, and from there our family became, all became popular in that way. So my uncle's side
Sorry.
also, quite yeah, it is wonderful to get birth in this family, but it's also a very huge responsibility.
Of course. Of course. It's a huge responsibility. Tell me, Dr. Moose, what is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, that's a very tricky question, actually. Um, I love, I love all the good, even Kerala food, also North Indian food. I like North Indian food
Okay.
also. I like. When I came to North India, I was eating paratha itself in the morning. And
Yeah.
I also believe that if you are going to a particular place, I'm a vegetarian. That's a big drawback when I travel abroad. But uh, but I try to eat the local food there. Mostly the traditional food also. And if I'm living longer time, definitely I almost take the same food itself. And maximum I stayed 6 months, not more than 6 months in another country or another state. So, so I adopted the food of that. And favorite food in here is dosha itself. I think everybody loves dosha, like a
Yeah. Everybody loves
masala
dosa.
dosa.
Everybody loves dosa.
Yes, yes. That's a favorite food. Idlis are also in the morning. Idlis are with warm, idlis are with the sambar and all. It's really delicious.
Wow. So that's your soul food, if I may say. That's your soul food.
No, I don't stick on to that. I keep changing. I try to take even some porridge also. I take millets. At least 4 days I take millets mostly. So, I make a difference in the food itself. Like for the lunch,
Well,
for
that's
the I also take chilla sometimes. Chilla is like a moong dal dosha kind of.
yeah, 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 yeah. Nice. So this is a great learning from you that you must have a little menu, and every day you can always try and experiment new kind of food, and I think that will be more like a balanced meal, if I may say.
And that too which is suitable to you. You try one time, and if it is not suitable, just leave it. Don't try again. So that's why you need to analyze how the food was, whether you digested it, and what went wrong. So all those things you need to analyze. And also you go to the, I mean, nowadays everything is there in the mobile, in a YouTube and all. Go to the traditional food, because that's how we manage to survive this much. So go to the traditional one. Don't try too many new varieties, because I believe in tradition. I am an Ayurvedic person. So tradition means actually something they tried and didn't get any side effect from it. That's why they use it as a tradition. I mean, in olden days, there is no other option other than changing the food habits. In nowadays we have medicine, tablets, injection, and all those things. In olden days, there was nothing. So if they found something is wrong to them, they just change their style of food. And many things, we don't really mix milk with the jaggery. So that is like a
Yeah.
tradition. It is like that because you should not, because it one has a little bit of salt in it. So when you mix with the milk, then it so there we use coconut milk. Milk can mix with the jaggery. So even in traditional sweets, what are the best sweets, and so all those things are very important, when you're consuming a food. So I stick on to the traditional one and follow that. I mean, we have nowadays, I see many TV shows that different type of food. It's look yummy and look wonderful and yummy, but the combinations are so odd. I mean, it should not combine together. So I feel bad. I mean, this is occasionally fine. The poor body will take it, but
Poor body will take it. How
I
nice.
know. Do we ask the body, are you comfortable with what I'm eating? Or even, no, we don't ask. Many people don't even think about that, what the consequence of it. They just enjoy while eating. They never,
That's true.
only ask the mind, never ask the body.
That's true. Very well said, Dr. Mose.
Unfortunately,
That
yes,
is,
true.
yeah, it's sad, but that's a fact. But when we all have this little indulgence, like some people like ice cream, some people like gulab jamuns. Any
Why not?
indulgence food that is yours?
Oh, no, for me, oh, that's a question. I like, the gear kind of things. I like
Mm.
Mysore or different jalebi and all. I can't live with those things. No, to be
Why?
honest, actually, why I'm saying is, if it is fresh, homemade, and consumed on that particular day, all the sweets are wonderful. But if you
Yeah.
keep it in a bakery for a longer time, even 1 or 2 days later, of course the taste will be the same, but it start getting fermented because of the then it become more acidic, once you consume it. If you are taking ghee on that day, it's going to be nectar in certain conditions. Otherwise,
So
no.
I would assume that everything depends on time frame. If it's fresh, it's good, and if it's even if it's like a day old, even if it was good, it's not good any
No,
longer.
the Punastattam Vishwabhama, we call it as also, if something is reheated, is considered as poisonous.
Wow.
My goodness, I'm sorry. Many people are
Oh,
doing that.
that's okay.
They
But that's all right.
keep it in the refrigerator and consume it next day or even coming days. You can keep the vegetables in the refrigerator. No, no, no worries. But you never keep any food, to eat later in a refrigerator and heat it again. So that is, if you can check it also whether it is good or not while reheating it. If the vapor is coming a little bit in with a color, a different type of color than the pure vapor, then understand it's poisonous. But the taste will be the same, but it's like a slow poison. You, know. You will not
We
know.
don't we don't realize these are the conveniences, and these silly conveniences are going to cause us so much harm.
Yeah. Sometimes like that, in the fast moving world, so-called fast moving, at least the corona made a big break. Corona
It did.
made a big break in that life. People started eating homemade things. No hotels and no restaurants were there. At least I think they became a little bit healthy during this corona time, though
Right.
many people left from this world, unfortunately. But that made a small lesson. But I don't know how many people learn from it, to eat at home, eat fresh, and eat local things also. From the farms wherever they are, or not going to the supermarket eating apples from Fiji or so they were eating the normal things at home. I think that made them a little bit healthier during that period, and that is the basic thing we need to follow. Occasionally, you can eat those things, but don't believe they are suitable to you. You know.
The West is unfortunately selling us so many ideas of our food, which is now their superfood, and now they're selling us the same idea.
Yeah, that will change
And
also. One day they will
and
change
we're
it to something else. They will
and
add
we're
more
paying
things.
so much more. Yeah, we're paying so much more for it.
Yeah, possible. Possible. Maybe nowadays the yoga also taught by Western people to us. We are learning from Western people nowadays, the yoga and meditation and pranayama and all. Maybe one day Ayurveda also we will need to learn in future from other people unless we continue our tradition. So we don't believe in our tradition also, no. We don't believe in our own things,
That's true.
A lot of richness is there in knowledge, in everything. Unfortunately, we have a saying this: the jasmine in our garden does not have the smell. So always the grass is greener at the other part. So unfortunately, I told you, there are many Indians having a Western soul, and many Western people have an Indian soul. So they are coming and learning our treasures and our things and taking to their country, and maybe business also there, but they are also getting healthier than us.
I think I would my last thing that I would like you to express is any kind of pearls of wisdom that you have for the new generation that's coming up, for our children, and for parents, how can they do something to just push the situation or help their own children?
Yes, listen to respect your parents, listen to them also, respect your guru, definitely, and make the room perfectly and body and inside and outside clean as much as possible. Then you can be a little bit naughty also, no problem. If you are doing all those things perfectly, then you can be slightly naughty, but still, study very well. Okay, additionally, study during this time. They have to study or earn something, learn something. Always, there is a movie. Your relative made the movie Three Idiots. Yeah, is that? Yes, yes. In that, there is a saying actually. How many people are going to college to learn something? They think
Yeah.
about always earning. So your uncle, he made that movie. So that's very interesting. That's one of the major lesson what we need to learn actually. How many people are going to college to learn something? So there are a lot of things to learn during this period, and
That's true.
how to live, and how where to invest. All those things they need to understand. So the purpose of the life is very much important. No life is waste. Every life is really precious, and make complete use of it. Complete as much as possible. You're
Thank you
not
so
made for paying taxes, and you are not made for paying
Yeah,
debts and all. You are made for something more than that.
absolutely. Thank you for these pearls of wisdom, as I may call them, because that's exactly what I feel. Feel so enriched today. I've learned so much new from you, and I must compliment you, Dr. Moose. You look the same. You haven't changed one bit. When I saw you almost like 4 or 5 years ago, you look the same.
Thank
So
you.
now I know whatever you are eating is doing phenomenally good for you.
Thank
And
you.
yes,
See, you are also the same. You look the same with the same charm, same energy. It's wonderful to have me here and inviting me for this program. Also, very much thankful
yeah,
to
because
your.
I just knew, Dr. Moore, that there were a lot of people who were going to learn so much from what you have just shared with all of us. Because these are little things, if we keep in our mind, we have a better future, we have good health, and a better lifestyle. And thank you so much for sharing all these things with us today on this platform, Storylines by Shefali Chopra. My dear friends, that I keep getting people from different facets of life. They unfold their stories, and we have so much to learn from them. So, in case you have not subscribed the channel, please do the same. Thank you so much, Dr. Moose.
Thank
Shat
you.
Shat
Thank
Pranam.
you. Thank you.
Means a
Thank you.
lot. Thank you. Bye for now.
Have a nice evening. Cheers.